Welcome back to Algebra 1, Chapter 12, the very last chapter. Yay, we made it! Section 1. We're going to talk about square roots. You already know square roots, remember? It is Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane. The only way to get out is by having a twin. You kill your twin. It's violent. It's for the criminally insane. You get in the body bag, you zip up, you play dead, and you get out of the asylum. So the square root of 9 is 3. Now, sometimes they want it to be plus or minus 3. Because we don't know the origin story. We don't know the backstory. We don't know if this 3 in Arkham is a hero, like when Jim Gordon got sent there, or a villain, like when Penguin was there. We didn't get the origin story comic. So we don't know if it's plus or minus 3. Now, what about the graphs of these things? Remember I told you we are at the end of the year. So some of this I want you to know real well, some of it I'm just introducing to you, and we're going to use our calculator a lot for these, because these are hard. These are a lot of Algebra 2 ideas, and our calculator can help us learn what we need to know for it. So on your calculator, I want you to put in to graph y equals the square root of x. So you go up to the y equals button, you clear out what's in there, you do second x squared to get the square root sign, you put x underneath, and then you hit graph. And you can see the shape, it looks like this. Notice there's no negative numbers because you can't take the square root of a negative number. It's all going to be a positive little swoosh. So how I want you to do these is using your calculator. Get it graphed on your calculator, take a look at what it looks like, then make an if-then chart using trace. Once you have your graph here, hit that button right there that says trace, and it'll tell you on the bottom that if x is 0, y is 0. And then you say, well, I'm going to be taking a square root. The next one I should probably do is 4. Hit 4, hit enter, and it will tell you if x is 4, y is 2. Well, the next squared thing is 9. So now hit 9, enter, and it tells you if x is 9, y is 3. Now we have some points. If x is 0, y is 0. If x is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, y is 2. We'll make it like that. And if x is 9, way out here, y is 3. We have some points for our swoosh. We have our graph. Make sure you have arrowheads on the ends of the x and y axis. Your calculator doesn't put those on there. And make sure you have an arrowhead on your line because it continues. It doesn't stop at 9. Okay? Now, domain and range. Remember, domain is what can x be. And x cannot be negative. So one way to say it is x is greater than or equal to 0. Notice y is also only positive numbers. So the range is y is greater than or equal to 0 also. Your book might write it a little way. It says all non-negative numbers. It's the same thing. Different books, different teachers have different ways of saying domain and range. I don't want you to be able to say it a certain way. I want you to understand the ideas. You can't take the square root of a negative number because say you tried to take the square root of negative 4. The only way to get it is positive 2 and negative 2, and they are not the same thing. They are not twins. I'd much rather have $2 than owe you $2. Does that make sense? Okay. What about this graph? What if it was y equals 2 times the square root of x? Do it on your calculator, stop the video, do 2 second x squared button to get a square root, and then put x in there and graph it, and take a look at what it does. Okay? And you will see that it goes a little higher, a little further out. We can get the points from this also by hitting trace. If x is 1, it tells us y is 2. If x is 4, y is 4. If x is 9, y is 6. So we have a little bit different points. Okay? The next thing is, if we have something under the radical with x, it's called h. If we have something outside the radical afterwards, it's called k. And it takes our graph of square root of x and it shifts it. If we have something here, it shifts it horizontally. So I believe that H stands for horizontal, meaning it shifts it this way, back and forth. If it has something out here not under the radical, it shifts it vertically. So K must be for vertically. They must not be good at spelling. So H for horizontal, K for vertical. You gotta say that K hard. And so it means it will shift it up and down. So here is one right here. So here is my original, where did I write it? Y equals the square root of X. If I have this minus 3, it will take it and it will shift it horizontally opposite of the sign. So the sign is negative, so instead of going back 3, it's going to do the opposite. It's going to go up 3 places. So I'm going to mark here 1, 2, 3. That's where it's going to start. But its vertical shift is up 2. So where this one started right here, I'm going to go up 2 and then write my shift. Then I'm going to draw my line. It goes, this one is going to go this way 3, up 2. So I want you to play around with your calculator. See what happens if it's plus 1. See what happens if it doesn't have this. I want you to be able to do this with your calculator, and that's all. And I would like you to know that H is a horizontal shift and K is a vertical shift. And then it will change it. It'll move it around from its original position. This is considered the basic formula. Anything more you have than this, it gets shifted off of that original graph. Alright, so I want you to play around with your calculator, take a look at that, but that's all there is to this. That's kind of fun, right? Math is great. See you next section.